What's up everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing a spoiler vlog for this beast of a book, 11/22/63, which is a Stephen King novel, and I believe it might be, like, when I finish it, I think it's gonna be the longest book I have ever read. I think I'll have to look it up later, but I think it's the biggest book I've ever read. This is literally a chunker. Like, you could totally knock someone out with this book. It is crazy. But I am going to be doing a spoiler vlog for this, which means that this vlog will be filled with spoilers, so don't watch this video if you have not read this book or if you don't want to be spoiled. I am buddy reading this with some of my friends from my online book club because we were on a team together for Jeopardy, and then we ended up finishing like all of our book prompts, and we really wanted to buddy read a book together. And then the audiobook came in for me on Libby. So this is the book that we decided to read. I am going to listen to it and read it at the same time because that has been one of my new favorite ways of reading and actually like getting reading done, doing it quickly, understanding what I'm reading. And so if you haven't tried it out yet, like, you should definitely try it out. I listen to the audiobook usually on 3 times the speed if it's available like that, and then I follow along. Great, because if you're like me, where your mind is always constantly wandering, I feel like it helps me stay focused on the book because I'm not stopping and thinking about, like, oh, you know, what did I need to add to my grocery list, or oh, let me go switch to the wash, or whatever it is, because the audiobook is constantly going. And so you're just taking your time, like, you know, going through the pages and keeping up with everything. So I love reading like that now. It is my all-time favorite, and I've been able to get through a lot more books this month doing that. I don't know much about this book, honestly, other than like so many people rave about it and they say it's amazing and emotional. So from the back, it says that there's this high school English teacher who like read this amazing essay by this one janitor talking about how, like, I guess this janitor's family all got slaughtered, but then like the janitor still survived. And then this English teacher has a friend named Al who owns a local diner and has like this secret portal in his storeroom, like in his pantry. It's like a time machine or something like that. And so I guess this guy is gonna go back in time to the 50s and 60s. He's gonna go back in time, try and prevent JFK from being assassinated. So it sounds very intriguing, and I usually like time travel alternate reality books, so like, why, I wonder if there's a reason why I wouldn't like this book. You know what I mean? I know that I usually don't like historical fiction, but I think with the time traveling, I won't mind as much, and it's not like, you know, a war book. I think that's what I don't like, is historical fiction that's like just about war, you know? I think I am starting to know like that I like some historical fiction. But yeah, I'm excited. We're gonna go ahead and read through this book in like 7 or 8 days. So we better start reading and get this vlog going. Okay guys, let's do our first update. So I read parts 1 and 2 in 11/22/63. I am this far. So yeah, I'm like 221 pages, I think it is. I am liking it so far. I am not loving it quite yet. It is, Stephen King is very overly descriptive, and I know some people kind of like that. If I wasn't listening to it on audiobook, which I'm listening to it at 3 times the speed, I would have a hard time like getting through this whole entire book because I would be skim reading a lot just because of all of the description in it. I do, however, like the time travel concept, because I mean, I've just always liked time travel concepts for some reason in books, and this one is just like very intriguing. Now, unfortunately, like, I even didn't know how to really do this update because even though I read 221 pages, I just feel like there's not much that has really happened yet. So we're reading about Jake, who is a school teacher, and he meets, you know, this diner guy named Al, who's the one that tells him about this portal where you can time travel. And obviously they talk about going back, saving JFK. Well, anyway, this school teacher, like in the beginning, he had read this essay by one of the janitors at the school. And it was like an amazing story about how he was the only survivor. His dad like murdered everybody in his family. So Jake, when he goes to time travel, decides that the first thing he wants to do is try and prevent like the janitor's family from all dying. And so that's kind of what we were reading in part 2 was, and it was kind of slow at first, but then like the last 30-ish pages of part 2 were very like fast paced, because you were reading about like the moment that Jake, who goes by the name of George in his time traveling because he doesn't want like his identity, you know, you don't want people to find out that you're like time traveling and like mess up everything, if that makes sense. So anyway, he is trying to save this family from being killed. And at the end of part 2, like we find out that like the plan didn't go like he had planned. So he's about to like time travel back to, I think it's like 2011, which is where he's like originally from. And so then that's where I got to part 3. So part 3, I'm not sure like what it's going to be about. Like, I guess since that time traveling thing didn't go correctly, I don't know if he's gonna go back and try and do it again, or I don't know. It's like there's like kind of a lot happening, but not really a lot happening, if that makes sense. Like there's so much description and detail that I appreciate. It's kind of almost like watching a movie. Like you can picture everything because he's explaining how everything is, but then there's not as much plot going on, if that makes sense. But something I did really like, even though I've never read it, I do love the It movies. So like chapter 1 and chapter 2, I have watched several times. And he talks about the town Derry in here, which is actually where like that janitor lived back in like 1958, was it? Something like that. But yeah, so the town Derry is where he goes to, and that was right when like Pennywise was there and a bunch of children murders had happened. So he even talks to some of the kids like from it, which is really cool. So I thought that was really, like, even though I haven't read the story It, I still appreciated the fact that he kind of tied in everything. So I'm going to sit, I have to go back to work tomorrow, guys. Like, I have to be there at 8:30 in the morning, so I have to leave at 7:30 in the morning. I can't believe it's already time to go back to work, even though I've literally been sitting here not working since April. But still, like, oh, it's so sad, you guys. But anyway, so I'm going to read part 3, or I'm at least gonna start it. I don't know how much I'm gonna get done tonight because it's already like 9 o'clock. But yeah, and then I'll try and update you guys. I'll try and update you guys each part from now on, because I think more things will be happening in the parts, and that way if you're reading along with me in this spoiler vlog, you'll know to stop when I get to the part, and then you can listen to my thoughts and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna DNF this book. I know, it seems so silly. I have read 366 pages. That's how far I am. But I'm gonna DNF it because, number 1, I went back to work. Today is actually Friday, so I've worked 3 whole days, and I feel like all I have done is have time to work all day. I drive an hour there and an hour back, so that's, again, 2 more hours. And I come home and I think, I need to read this book. And then I sit and I read, and I'm bored to death, and I say, oh, now it's time for bed, and I need to go back to work the next day. And I listened to some of this yesterday on my car ride. I'm actually in part 4 now. So I had read like some of part 3 from the last clip you saw, and then I finished like part 3
on my drive to work the other day, and like I got to work and I like knew nothing of what was happening with the story. So spoilers really quick in case you haven't read this yet, but the only thing that really happened that was like interesting, I guess if you want to say, is that Al died. Well, like he had cancer. He was really sick because I guess from like traveling, he was doing the time traveling stuff, but he ends up committing suicide because he's in so much pain from the cancer. So he commits suicide, and Jake is kind of like upset by that, but I don't know if I updated you guys about this or not, but when Jake goes back to save like the janitor's family, he like didn't do it properly the first time, because every time you time travel, you have to like stay there if you want like the past to keep going with that, because every time you time travel back, it'll undo everything that you did. So he came back, and because like he didn't do it correctly, and still some of the family died, and then he went back again, and he was able to save all the janitor's family except for one child. And so then he keeps living there. Like now that Al is dead, you know, like Jake kind of takes this mission like over as like, you know, he's going to, because he time travels to 1958 every time, but he needs to make it obviously to 11/22/63 in order to save JFK. So what he's doing is he's staying there for those years, and he's trying to find Oswald, who obviously is the assassinator of JFK. And so I'm like, I'm just gonna like stop because I'm so bored. Like nothing has happened other than the fact that this whole entire time now I'm just reading about Jake, or George, you know, whatever you want to call him, either the past or the present. He just is living this life. So this whole entire, like, I don't even know how long, but like we have to even get to 1963. So it's like, like so much. I don't even know how long it's gonna be, but like so much of it is going to just be Jake living his life from 1958 to 1963. And there are so many characters in this book, so many like extra things that are happening that I really don't care about. Like, you guys know I'm a thriller lover. I read books for plot and I read books for emotion. Those are like the two things that I love in books. This has nothing in it like that. And so I like to think that I've read 366 pages. I've literally read a whole book. Like if this were a book, 366 pages right here, I've read a book, and I have nothing to like, I have nothing to like be proud of because I'm halfway and I don't like it. So I don't feel like spending the next, who even knows, what, 5 more days to finish reading this book when I'm not liking it. So there's no way that I would rate this a 4 or a 5 star when I've read half of the book and I am bored and don't really care about it. The most it's gonna get from me is a 3 or a 3.5. And to me, reading a 3 to 3.5 star book is not worth it. So that's why I'm DNFing. Yeah, but I just think that, I don't know, either Stephen King's writing just isn't for me. I feel like he just puts so much in his books that don't need to be in his books. This could be so much shorter. And I don't know, it's just not for me. I think someone that loves time travel and loves historical fiction and really loves reading like every detail about a character would really like this book. But if you're like me and you read for like very suspenseful thrillers, if you read for very emotional romances, this is not the book. So I'm sorry that this was only half of a spoiler vlog, but we are ending it here because I have a lot better reading vlogs that I have planned. I literally have so many books just staring at me that I really want to read and that are actually fitting into other like reading vlogs that I have coming up. And if I just if I just spend the next, 4 or 5 days trying to finish this book, number one, I don't have that much time anymore because of work. So I would have to read 100 pages like every day, which would take me an hour and a half or whatever after work, which I don't really have, just to finish this book for this one video, when I'd rather read 2 or 3 other books that I'm actually really excited for and have a much better reading vlog for you guys. I am ending this here. I'm very sorry. This is a short video and it's not a full complete spoiler vlog, but at least you guys know that I tried reading 11/22/63 and I decided that this is not the book for me and that there's gonna be better and brighter things in my future and in your future watching this channel. So yeah, stay tuned for those future videos. I'm really excited actually. So yeah, I am going to stop reading this and I'm going to go pick up a beautiful book and start a brand new reading vlog that's gonna have me loving what I'm reading, hopefully. Let's hope, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video anyway, and I will see you guys very soon, so bye.